A little girl who polished shoes was sitting by the roadside when a woman passing by accidentally dropped all her money. Seeing so much money, the little girl became very happy and said, "With this money, I can fulfill all my wishes." But then she suddenly realized that this money did not belong to her, and she should return it to its rightful owner. She left her customer and all her belongings behind and ran after the woman. Chasing her, the girl reached the woman's house where a maid was cleaning. Seeing the little girl's condition, the maid stopped her from coming inside and said, "Whatever you need, tell me here." The little girl held out the money and said, "Please give this to the lady of the house." The maid was shocked to see so much money. Taking it from the girl, she said, "I will give it to her. You can go now." Just then, the woman whose money had fallen returned and asked the maid what the matter was. Hiding the money, the maid replied, "Nothing, ma'am. Just a little girl bothering me." When the little girl returned, she found her things and her small savings gone. She sat crying on the roadside. The same kind-hearted woman happened to pass by and asked child what happened. The girl told her that someone had stolen her belongings, phone, and money. The kind woman comforted her and said, "Do not worry, everything will be fine." Looking up at her, the little girl said, "I actually came to return your money. That is why I lost my things." The woman was surprised and said, "But I never got any money." She then realized that her maid must have kept it. To expose the maid, the woman and the little girl came up with a plan. The next day, the little girl went back to the house and knocked on the door. The maid opened it and said, "You again." The girl replied, "I am very thirsty. Could you please give me a glass of water?" The maid went inside to fetch the water. After drinking it, the girl took out some money and said, "Please give this to your madam. It belongs to her." The maid took the money and again promised to hand it over. The next day, the maid told her employer she needed to go to her village for a few days because her mother was suddenly unwell. The kind woman asked, "Why did not you tell me earlier?" The maid replied, "It all happened suddenly." The woman then asked, "Did a little girl recently come here to give me some money?" The maid denied it outright, saying, "No, I do not remember any such girl." At that very moment, the maid's bag slipped from her hand and all the money fell onto the floor. Realizing she had been caught, the maid immediately apologized and begged for forgiveness. The little girl who had been waiting nearby came forward and said, "She is the one I gave the money to." The maid's face turned pale. The kind woman said to her maid, "You should be ashamed of yourself. I gave you food, shelter, and respect, and this is how you repay me." She fired the maid on the spot and told her to leave the house. Then turning to the little girl, she said, "This money now belongs to you as a reward for your honesty." The little girl used that money to buy a wheelchair for her brother. Seeing it, her brother was overjoyed and sent many heartfelt prayers for the kind-hearted woman. This story teaches us that honesty and integrity always bring true rewards. Even when no one is watching, doing the right thing leads to respect, trust, and blessings. Greed may offer short-term gain, but it always ends in loss and regret, while honesty creates lasting happiness and peace of mind. Do you think honesty still exists in today's world? Comment yes if you agree.